Alright, so I'm gonna do a quick run through this. I'm not gonna do anything too in depth because I don't know exactly like you all's taste and flavor for the game and etc. stuff. I'll just point out stuff I notice as it rolls along. Stuff that I watched it once already. There's some stuff I want to highlight that you can do, and then there's other stuff. Um, I know y'all have a match that's like need to win coming up, and I don't really have any like godly tier sage advice is it's gonna fix it overnight, but I can give you guys the information you need that you can work on that'll fix it over time. So let's go ahead and roll this.
Let's run Lucio and let's dive something. Woohoo! Good work. Let's go team.
Yeah, I think we run Junkrat. Like Nectar, actually go Junkrat.
Can we just Lucio Mercy?
Lucio Mercy? Nah, Lucio.
Or Moira Mercy? I don't know.
Lucio's on.
Okay.
What does Joy Boy reckon?
I reckon we switch Zen for Moira, guys.
Oh.
Because we are not peeling, and I don't want Merit to die.
I mean, I peeled really hard. I probably peeled too hard last time.
I think Moira Lucio would work better because I can get in there and do some damage as well without having to worry about being stuck.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bad account. There's a
Let the
bad
good Junkrat!
account.
Good junk. Right, please.
Goodness. He's gonna take it off the map.
Has someone renamed their account bad and they're in Diamond Inting?
Yes, and it's exactly.
Alright, so I'm gonna pause here. This is coach stinginess popping out, but there's no need for this right here. This is irrelevant. That's not scrim information. It's not shit we care about. That's just common passerby talk. If you want to talk about it, that's fine, but you need to drop it, especially when the match starts. As soon as the match starts, you need to be focused on all this shit. This is what's important. Nothing else fucking matters. Alright, other thing. You need to have your comp decided so you have a plan and a direction before you even get into it. I don't know how you all are on this map. I don't know how much you scrim on it, but as a coach, you should have some form of strategy, some form of direction before you load into the game. So right now, if I look at your composition, you have a dive composition. This is 100% counter dive composition. Think of Junkrat as a shitty Pharah. Moira can't be dove, Lucio needs to go in, and then you have the standard dive comp core. Alright, so we're gonna roll this.
Exactly the same level as your bad account. It's like 2-star.
What the fuck?
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Alright, right here. You need to be talking about as soon as you round this corner, what the hell you see. Information, information, information. Information is what's going to allow you to know when to dive. It's going to give you your triggers. Triggers are things that are initiation tools. They are things you notice, things you see, things you need to talk about, things that you can tell other people that will make it so that they understand the game state better. So as you are rounding this corner, if you don't see anybody in this fucking box, you need to say they aren't going through whatever this is for you guys' call out. I'm gonna roll it again.
Watch this. I'm gonna walk forward, make him.
Go down main.
Alright, so that was the first time it was called. So, how many do you see on main? You just said they are on main. Is that all of them? Is that not all of them? Be specific. Winston, Diva, Mercy, Soldier on main. And if you can see the Zen is on main. You have to keep track of flankers. This is why information and being specific and fast is responsive to like everything you know. Because if you know that this tracer isn't there, you can assume the tracer is going to be coming from behind. That gives your supports the information they need to expect that the flanker is going to arrive. So this is very key information you need passing along. Other thing, in this exact same window, as you guys see them here and you see them grouping, you need to decide what you want to do. You guys need to have a set plan and a strategy for what goes on here. If they go into you and they dive, so let's say Diva dives, Winston dives, 76 pushes up, Zen rotates out, and Mercy pushes in with the Zen. What's your plan? What is your play here? There's lots of options you have. I'm not going to get into specifics because, again, it comes down to you guys knowing what you want to do, but you should have a plan here and you should be formulating it. If you're going to engage, what's your engage trigger? Diva's matrixing here, so when Diva runs out of matrix, maybe that's a trigger to go in. You need to understand these things, you need to be communicating them.
Yeah, literally spray them
They
out.
have Mercy Zenyatta.
I'm behind.
Again, this Tracer is still free. I don't think she's going to get any value here, but it's still something. If you have a Zen in this situation, your Zen's going to be dead. In T1, T2, your Zen is dead here if the communication isn't made, or the Zen doesn't have an understanding about that specific Tracer's playstyle. So information is very, very key.
Behind them.
They're going outside. Oh, they're going
Yeah,
outside.
no,
now.
there's a soldier
They're
outside.
Tracer's behind us.
Alright. Tracer's behind. Tanks, you've pushed up. You two need to stay together. You guys are fracturing. Fracturing is when direction is pulled away from the team's goal and objectives. So your tanks are focused here. Your Junkrat, which one's your Junkrat? I don't know which one's Nectar because the video quality is crap. I don't really know. I'm going to assume it's this projectile, so it's one of those two. I'm not exactly sure who. I think Nectar's the one on the lower. And then I know for a fact your Moira turned because she acknowledged the Tracer. You guys are all looking at different things. You're all doing different things. That's not how this composition works. This composition needs to be everybody's focused on the same thing. So when you go into a game and you have your set composition, you guys need to decide. So dive, for example, this form of variant of dive you have. You need to understand, what are we diving? What is our trigger to go in? And then you need to execute it. You need to have this planned out before you get into the game. You don't ad-lib this shit. You go into a fucking server, you figure it out. If they have somebody goes here, we dive them there. If they have a Zenyatta, where's the Zenyatta playing? The Zenyatta's playing outside. Can we dive the Zenyatta? Everybody obviously can't make it to the Zenyatta. The Zenyatta is hung right now, and the Zenyatta doesn't really have a factor. So technically, because of that rotation they made outside, and I think it was your main tank who called it, you all can lean in and push in and basically force their tanks to rotate out because they want to play this sight line. They want to play in this area. They want to make it so that the Zen who's outside gets an angle. By you guys pushing in here, you deny the Zen the angle to shoot because of this wall, and then the pillar that runs straight up and down right here in the middle. And then the other side obviously is the same. But you deny vision. This is a safe spot over here. And you guys just don't get spammed at when you sit over here. So you need to call this rotation. They rotated. We need to rotate. They're rotating into a favorable position. We need to rotate into a favorable position. So as the person said that, you guys should be pushing here, here, maybe turning onto the Tracer or pulling back. One of these options, because you still have 12 seconds till the point unlocks. All right.
Shoot that tank, shoot the tanks.
They're not getting healed right now.
Again, it's exactly what we said. The Zen and the Mercy are cut off. Exact same thing. This needs to be executed faster, though. The faster it gets executed, the faster you can punish these slack plays. This is the difference between T3, T2, T1. It's how fast you identify these, how fast you execute it, how fast you communicate it. That's all this is. All this is pacing. How fast can you execute this call?
Soldiers outside doing free damage.
He's beating us out.
I'm dying.
I'm on the Tracer. Tracer.
Alright, so we're going to roll this back a little bit. Alright, so right here, we're going to take stock. You guys are even, pretty much. Nectar arguably is lower, but Nectar has better spamming on the Diva. Play it. Right here. Jake is fucked. Whatever the fuck happened to Jake, I don't know what the fuck happened to Jake. But Jake got fucked. He probably ate fucking a Zenyatta right click into Discord, but Jake is fucked. As soon as Jake gets fucked, you guys need to understand that that is a trigger to disengage, or a trigger to commit and all in. Because just sitting there and taking it means you're just giving it up. You need to be active as this happens. So as Jake is getting fucked here, you have to assume he's going to get demagged. So it's on
He's
Jake
beating us out.
to say, I'm going to lose mech here, I'm going to lose mech here. And when Jake says that, Joy knows he no longer has Matrix. The Winston player now understands that he is in a situation where he is the sole main tank. You now effectively have 2 supports, 2 DPS, pistol walking around, and a Winston. And that's going to affect how this team fight goes.
I'm dying.
I'm on the Tracer. Tracer's gonna die.
Go Winston.
Look
Alright, again, you guys are fractured. I'm not going to get into the fracturing, but it's just something I see here. So we're going to roll this back again real quick. And we're going to listen to it again. All right. I don't know if that's your voice, by the way, Jake, when you watch this. So if that is you, you have to make that call sooner. You have to make it before it actually happens. You have to understand that you are going to lose mech, because maybe your support can save you here. If you don't do it until after it happens, they can't do anything for you. Communication, communication, communication. Saying it ahead of time means you have a chance to stop it. If you don't say anything, it's going to happen, and they need to have the answer to when it happens. They need to be in the correct position. They need to be rotating. They need to be moving to the correct spot.
Soldiers outside doing free
I'm
damage.
speeding us out.
All right, right here. Speeding us out. Great call. Good call. You guys need to have a plan. When you speed out, what are you doing? You guys need to go into a private game, just the 6 of you, and say, if we're here and we get sped out, where are we going? What are we doing? There needs to be quote-unquote a regroup point. You guys need to either fight on objective, you need to counter dive, you need to decide what you're doing, and everybody needs to understand it. So in the heat of the moment, you can execute it fast with minimal delay, and they have less time to counter react to it.
I'm on the Tracer. Tracer.
All right, that call. I am on the Tracer. I am on the Tracer is an okay call. Where is the Tracer? All right, so this is free coaching insight from me. Koth maps are designed and are symmetrical. Every single Koth map in the game is symmetrical. There is not a single difference on every single Koth map. They are all symmetrical. So, if you have Koth, and this is like baby steps version, you can get way more advanced with it if you want. You can get way more simple with it. It's however you want to do it. All right, so in the simplest form of calling Koth, take the middle of the map. So this is the middle of the map, right? All right. This is our side. This is their side. So, in the simplest form of Koth, you have basic things you can call out. So, this is, let's say this is wall. We call this wall their wall. And then we go back over here. Our wall. Okay. Let's say, I'm gonna erase this real quick. Erase the arrows now that you get the concept. All right, let's say this is maps. This is a very common call out. This is their maps. Come over here. This is our maps. You have their mini. You have our mini. And then, because Koth maps are symmetrical, you can say mega, because there is no our mega, their mega in this situation. It's just the singular mega outside. Everybody understands these points. Even if you are this vague, it applies direction to a comm. So if you are in the situation, whoever made that call, Tracer is who we need to go on. Tracer where? Where is the Tracer? Where is the Tracer we are going for? We're going to roll it forward.
Go with
Alright, so where's Tracer?
Winston.
I don't know where the fuck Tracer is. I can't see Tracer. Somebody said Tracer. There she is. Alright, so Tracer was, we're going to roll it back 5 seconds.
Us out.
Play it up until it gets
I'm
to
on
my
the-
freeze point right here. Alright, so Tracer is going to be at their mini. That's all you got to say. Tracer their mini. If that's the person who is calling the target that needs to go down, you say Tracer their mini. It's a very short comm, it applies direction to the comm, and it gives everybody else the information of the location of where the person is without actually having to look for them. So say you are Jake in this situation, you just remec'd. Alright, we're going to clear all this. You're Jake, right here. And he does that, and you say, Tracer their mini low. Tracer has no rewind. So let's say there was a call before that. So Tracer no rewind. And then you're on the Tracer. Tracer their mini. Jake, who's the flex tank, and he has the ability to float around more than the main tank, immediately after remeching, because, let's be honest, Jake's looking over here. As soon as Jake says that, Jake can turn and pile, because Jake, when he turns, he is immediately going to take this LOS. He's going to look, and because of the way the Tracer is going to go, she will fall into his LOS. But because we said Tracer, their mini, Jake now has a direction to go, and his immediate LOS is going to happen, and he can clean up the target. All right, so that's an example. And keep rolling.
The Tracer? Tracer's gonna die.
Go Winston, Winston.
Deep back low, deep back low.
All right, that right there. You guys are calling too many targets. You guys need to pick, basically, which kind of target calling you want. Doesn't matter. There's multiple ways you can do it, but I'll give you the two simplest forms and versions. One person mans up, everybody listens to that person's call. So let's say if Jake is the target caller. Jake will call a target, and then everybody else acknowledges it and focuses that target, right? All right, let's say in the exact same thing, Jake is dead. Jake can no longer call. When Jake dies, Nectar is calling. So you have Jake is your primary, Nectar is your secondary, and let's say who's after him? Joy. We'll put you there. All right, so these are 3 target callers. It's actually not too far from it. Your projectile, DPS, your flex tank, and your main tank. And then your supports file in onto this target call. If the target call isn't here, it's a check down. They immediately go to this target call. If there's no target call there and nobody says anything, they go to this target call. All right, that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is everybody's fucking seen Finding fucking Nemo. Everybody's seen the fucking seagulls. I've made this meme about Overwatch forever, and everybody apparently thinks that it's still a joke, but it's actually one of the easiest, simplest ways to target call. And she turned into the fucking seagulls from Finding Nemo. The seagulls in Finding Nemo fucking scream, mine, 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 mine. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, hold on. For reference, for anybody who fucking hasn't seen this shit. All right, there we go. We have attached that to that video now. There you go. Anyway, so the same principle attaches to target calling. So we're gonna roll this back. In this situation, somebody calls Tracer. You hear a hero that gets called. We need to focus Tracer. Everybody echoes the target call, so it turns into Tracer, 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 Tracer. Did she die? No, you keep saying it. Or you keep applying information. She gets out, that's fine. Whoever said that first call, you echoed it. Alright? There's going to be a call here in this VOD here in a second where you're going to hear Winston, Winston. That's what you need to do. So Winston gets called. Everybody should go. Winston, 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 Winston. It sounds stupid, but what happens is, so let's say we're focusing Winston, right? That's our focus target. If Joy is the one who said Winston, and we'll say Earl was the one who called Tracer, and then nobody else said anything. So we'll say that these dots represent the people who didn't say anything. In this situation, Nectar acknowledges the Winston call. He says Winston. Lucio acknowledges it. He says Winston. Jake acknowledges it. He says Winston. Merritt acknowledges it. Says Winston. Earl acknowledges it. Overrides his own call and calls Winston. We now have uniformity versus split focus. So you can do it either of the two ways. Either work, but you guys definitely have a target focus issue. That's probably one of the biggest things with dive comp is target focus. And sounding like the fucking seagulls from Finding fucking Nemo is probably one of your best bets and best ways to be able to fucking do shit. So that's one way.
I'm dying.
I'm on the Tracer. Tracer's gonna die.
Go Winston.
Deep back low, deep back low, deep back low.
Alright, so again, you have all of this information coming in. Somebody's calling one thing, somebody's calling another thing, somebody's calling another thing. If you have selective hearing, this is fine, and this might be the style you guys want to choose, but you don't have uniformity and focus. Your damage is split, you have different people looking at different things. If you're the Tracer in this situation, I don't know voices, so if you're Tracer here and you're playing a deep flanker on your own because you don't have a Genji and you don't have Winston and a Diva diving with you, and you all are playing as a murder ball core, it's your job to just relay information. You are not overriding your core. Your core will always consist of your main tank, your flex tank, and your secondary DPS. Main DPS or flanker is always going to wind up on his own mission. And this is something that a lot of tracers do, that tracers and Genjis who are playing flanker, they want to give everybody information, they want to do all this stuff, they want to fucking be a part of the team fight, but if you are, say you're a tracer, and you're fucking back here at their spawn killing a Zenyatta, and your team is fighting fucking here, the hell does your team need to know that the fucking Zenyatta, except for the fact that he is at their spawn, what do they need to focus him for? They can't focus him. You need to understand that that comm is cluttering comms. It doesn't belong there. They need to know the information that I'm fighting Zen. That's it. That's all you gotta say. There and done. But yeah. Alright, so that's another thing. We'll
D-Mac
move
super
forward.
low. Mac low.
I'm on the
Shoot
map.
He's one.
Shoot me.
Anything heals?
Alright, I'm gonna pause here for a second. Whoever that is, like I said, I don't know who voices are. You seem to have the alpha personality of the team, and that's not a bad thing to have more than one alpha, but whoever you are, you have the biggest voice that I've heard so far while listening to these VODs and everything, and it is a situation where everybody needs to acknowledge it, everybody needs to execute it, and whoever is screaming Diva Mech Low is literally giving you guys information, and it needs to be acknowledged. Because this is going to lead to a form of tilt in game, and especially it's really, really hard for shot callers and target callers. The higher up you get into the game and higher coordinated level of play you get into, is there is going to be a situation where you effectively can't do anything. You just fucking screamed something, it got ignored, and then you're just fucked. Alright, so we're gonna go to the next thing.
I'm on the map.
He's one.
Shoot me.
Anything heals?
Here's a shield for you. Oh no, Tracer's so low.
Yeah, I'm on Tracer. She has no recall.
Alright, right here. You just killed the Tracer. Immediately, everybody should be setting up into the exact next spot. You have to understand, we have captured point. Where are we holding? Are we holding this choke? Are we holding this choke? Are we holding this choke? Are we fucking rotating outside to go play in Egypt? This needs to happen instantaneously. There can be no delay here.
I
1
don't know what I
Mississippi,
did
2
that fight.
Mississippi,
We need to
3
play
Mississippi,
faster, Jake. That
4
was scary.
Mississippi, 5
Yeah, dude.
Mississippi,
I-
6
I-
Mississippi,
I don't
7
know.
Mississippi,
I
8
fucked up. We
Mississippi,
didn't have, like,
9
some
Mississippi,
healing, so it's
10
like,
Mississippi,
what am I doing?
11 Mississippi,
Pressing
12
W
Mississippi,
I'm not
14
fun.
Mississippi, 15
Rebel,
Mississippi,
American
16
flag.
Mississippi. You have not moved from these stairs. You have nobody gathering information. You have nobody saying, well, last time they dove me here, I need to be playing deeper. You are not communicating information and looking at the active game state. We're going to go back and we're going to listen now. So let's clear this. 20 seconds.
I don't know what I did that fight. I got
We need more
confused.
faster, Jake. That was scary.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I fucked up. We didn't have like single target healing, so it's like, what am I doing? Pressing W into Zenyatta, not fun.
I'm not trying to make fun of you, whoever you are, but literally that's the most productive comm that was made in these 15 seconds of downtime. Downtime in Overwatch is used to relay information. Last time, their Tracer came in from behind. Their Tracer came in this way. In this downtime, this 15 seconds, I think it was Lev. I'm just gonna say your name's Lev, because I can't say the entire thing. Anyway, Lev, you saw Tracer from behind. You acknowledged it. You did your job as Lucio and peeled the Tracer. You need to pass that information on to your team in this window. Their Tracer rotated from behind. That information needs to be given to Merritt and to Earl, because if Earl is playing Tracer and say he's playing over here, he needs to know that there's a very good chance he's going to run into their Tracer playing in dark. Their Tracer flanked around. That's all you have to say. Something very small, short. But it's more and more information. Overwatch is a shooter that is based around information.
When we bail, Mirror can just like shift out.
I should just.
All right. Where are you posturing? What are you doing? You guys are just sitting out in the open taking spam. I'm gonna be honest. This looks like solo queue. Why is your Lucio not, here, here, here? Your Lucio's just like got a giant fucking dive me. I'm right here. Dive me. All right, so another situation is about to come up here. And if you guys were in a set situation and this was actually a planned strategy, this would be amazing. But you are not doing it in a planned strategy. And this is sheer dumb luck, but you miss your chance at sheer dumb luck. So I'm going to roll this. And then one of you is going to say, counter dive right there. Okay. There's Zenyatta. Most immobile hero in Overwatch. 200 health pinata that is Dive Comp's wet dream. You right now have nothing that technically does not have an escape mechanism. Lucio has speed boost, Moira has fade, Junkrat has double mine and trap, and then you have dive. Your entire team can dive a target.
Mirror
I
will
can't.
cover.
I'm at a position real fucking well.
But you need to be in the back with lever. Mirror's with us.
Alright. Winston trigger. This is a trigger. Diva's fucking back here. Winston's up here. You need to make your decision as he is in the air. What are you doing? Are you going to blow up the Winston or are you going to counter dive? This is a trigger for either. Because the Winston can't fucking get to his support. But the Zenyatta has a Mercy. So potentially that's not an optimal play. Blowing up the Winston could be an optimal play here. But you need to understand this trigger as it's in the air. You literally are going to have 5 people be in a situation where you can blow this dude up. Jake's already acknowledged it. Lucio's going to be in a position. Junkrat can be in a position. Moira can be in a position. Winston is the only one who's not paying attention to that direction, and Winston's can immediately be said, as I highlighted earlier, our maps. Winston dove our maps. Dude is on it. You just blow him up. Mercy has to shift in, something, your Winston drops bubble, instantaneously you can blow this monkey up. Alright.
Oh, that's a counter.
Alright, I'm gonna roll this back. Because it skips here, and I don't really know what happened, but I know that's purely either the internet or the recording rate. Either is okay. But I just need to pay attention to right here. Alright, so Diva's slow to react. Winston is free. Their Winston does not have ultimate. Winston is free to be killed. 76, Zen, Mercy are going to be playing out of LOS. Your entire team can pile on. And then these two are locked in an everlasting duel of fucking Tracer Kool-Aid. Anyway, you get my point. You can blow the monkey up, or you can counter dive because this core is left alone. Both movement cooldowns from Diva and Winston were blown. Your entire team has mobility movement. Junkrat can mine in, Diva can boost in, Moira can fade around, Lucio can wall ride and speed amp in. Tracers, like I said, locked in the never-ending fight, and then Winston can jump in. Your entire team can do whatever the hell you want. You have an entire team that can do whatever the hell you want, but you need direction, you need a plan.
Oh, that's a counter dive. That's a counter dive right there. Look
I
at
just
that.
got fucking iron.
Whoa, that's
Don't give
heal
up
up,
point
I've healed-
control. Don't give up point.
Yep, I'm ulti. Stay on point. I can keep you up.
Kill Winston,
Wait,
kill Winston.
Winston's low.
Say out line
I
start.
almost have beat.
It's a bit awkward.
I'm beating.
Alright, so right here, this is an economic overcommitment, and it comes in Koth frequently because of your need to immediately win something, but this is where you need to have ult tracking. You need to have somebody on your team who's paying attention to what ults they used, what ults we used. You need to have somebody who can say, they've used all this shit, they're gonna have Valk coming up, but they don't have it yet in this situation. Because if you can do that, you don't have to beat here. You can beat, but I still don't think the beat here is optimal. I think that right here in this situation where the beat's about to go down, I think Joy is probably the only person who's low, and if Moira comes in after the ultimate and gets in, Moira can heal him, and you guys can sustain and win this fight, especially with their diva about to die, because the Mercy's gonna have to res, and then immediately your target focus should shift.
I'm beating.
This is very awkward.
Kill the soldier, soldier.
See, that's almost the thing, but everybody needs to do it.
I'm locking onto their mercy. I'm locking onto their mercy.
We do not want to use any more ults.
Can we
Guys, stall. One.
Alright, so stall call is made. You need to decide how you stall. There's multiple ways to stall. The first way to stall, obviously, is the 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, one at a time. You can do it that way. Or you can take the other route, which is this. And you guys are going to have to go through a map and decide where you want it to be. But you can set a segment of the map up and say this is our stall segment. Everybody should be doing the hokey pokey in this segment, right? So it's in to stall, out for heal. I'll clear it and I'll do it. All right, so it's in to stall, out to heal, and then into stall, and then out to heal. If you have that, if not, it's into stall, and you're trying to set yourselves up so that you are all in the same place. And then going back to the target focus thing that I talked about earlier, when you limit your entire team to, say, this little bitty quadrant for stall, all of your damage can be on a key target. So you know you are going to go lose this fight the moment you said stall. You can swing it with an ultimate, but if you don't have it, you're playing literally just to swing. So what's something you could do here in a stalled fight with the way they're positioned and how they're doing things to swing this fight? You can play in this LOS. It's going to force the Zen. I'm going to erase this. I'm going to make a different color. So there's Zen, who's Ha. Now has to rotate if he wants to be of use. When this happens, this is another trigger, your entire team can go onto the Zen to force his trance, or he dies. Either way, you're just making an attempt to force his trance. Even if you don't force his trance, even if you all die, it's still a play in a losing environment. Alright, so let's see what's next.
They
Kill
use
David,
Tracer Bomb again.
David.
Stall.
That is the information you need to know. They use Tracer Bomb, but you need to do it with every ultimate. All 6 ultimates they have. Did they flex heroes? Did they change anything?
Oh, one by one,
I'm
one by
dead.
one, one by one, one by one.
David.
I'm dead. Important information. A support is dead. Tanks. I am out of mech. I am dead. Important information. Flanker, not so much. Tracer, again, this is back to the... Is it relevant? Is it information I need?
David.
Stall. Oh, you guys.
No.
Oh,
We inted.
Suck. What are you doing?
fuck this team, man.
Dude, I'm off the map.
Alright, I know you all are memeing here, and I understand. But this is information that needs to be passed along. Like I said, this is game time. What happened last fight? What did they use? Where did they set up? Where did they engage from? Where do we need to engage from? Do we need to make any changes? Do we need to do anything else? That's what this information time is for. The 20 to 30 seconds in between fights that is respawning, rotating, getting into position is information past time. Memes are great, memes are fun, memes get you through the day at practice, especially when you get into 8-hour days. I understand it, I've been around it, I know it. But in an in-game environment, in a tournament, you need to be communicating relevant information here.
This is tier 3.
Sounds
Give
exactly
four.
like what Lex said today, but
Yeah,
I killed 5 people.
Look.
Unfortunately, they were a whole
Turn
team.
around.
All my teammates. Alright, we're good. Let's go.
Don't lose Matrix yet. Alright, we're here. Oh, we're here.
Yep,
Let's go.
let's
I'm
go,
gonna
let's go.
start
what
here.
doing?
So then we have Junkrat's AoE.
They're outside. They're playing outside. They're playing outside.
I'll get test with Jay.
Jason Stark, what's it
I'm
on to?
speeding.
I'm shooting the
Whoa,
Mercy.
whoa, what the fuck?
What was the plan? That was an awfully big chunk of wing it. And then Tracer, you hit a pulse bomb on Winston, forcing Winston ult. Your team needs that information. Everybody else, what the hell are you doing? Look at how scattered you guys are here. You have one there, two there. I think there's somebody out here. Like what are you all doing? Like y'all are all over the place.
You're so bad.
I'm shooting this fucking chimp.
Guys, group up.
I'm on
White,
Tracer, I'm on
white,
Tracer.
white, white. Come white.
I'm dead.
Guys, come white. Group up.
Okay.
You wanna just...
Get the fuck out, boy, run! Fucking run!
I have ult for next fight. I have ult.
I'm really low, mate. Give me this. Ooh.
We know what we did wrong. We just split. We need to be more controlled.
Alright, let's go. We have ult.
Let's go back.
We can
Being split is okay if everybody understands what you are doing. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, and you're split. It turns into a fucking pug. You might as well be playing comp queue at that point. Have a plan, have a strategy, have something that you're intending to do. I don't think I saw any of that during this entire VOD.
Speed boost outside. Speed boost outside. Let's go.
Yeah, speed boost outside. There's Zen's playing on the back actually. They're playing on their mini. They're mini.
Behind us.
Holy shit, you know the call. Everybody should be doing it consistently. Consistently. Yes, it's a broken record. As a coach, you need to be doing it consistently. If you aren't doing that shit consistently, comment. Practice is to create consistency. If you're on fucking comp queue and you're in a pug and you don't want to fucking cool. Comp queue. Scrim time, consistency. Comment. Alright, moving on.
We need to dive their mini.
Right side then.
Yeah, right
First time you all have come close to formulating a plan.
side.
I'm low. I'm really low.
Let's go. I'm gonna ult.
I'm on the Zen. Oh, they just
tranced. What do you do now?
trans.
Silence. What do you do now? Somebody speak up. Somebody grab that shit by the balls.
We're out of mech.
I'm on the soldier.
Yeah, kill soldier.
Winston has no leap.
Yeah,
Yep.
Kill David. Kill David.
He's on me.
Fuck
He
David.
has no
Fuck
leap
David. Fuck
again.
David. Mac,
Whistle low. Guys, I'm shooting. I'm getting alpha heals. Thanks.
Are we getting any value from the Junkrat?
Not at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Absolutely none.
Are you getting value from the Junkrat is the question. I think you are using the Junkrat incorrectly. As my 2 cents on the subject. I don't think it's relevant particularly because you all play differently. Min-max, Junkrat is okay here. Junkrat is a ground version of Pharah with higher burst potential. Arguably, I think that if you guys had played this like a full dive comp and all into their Zenyatta the entire game or all into their Mercy the entire game, you had a potential to have a lot more impact with the Junkrat. But if you're not going to do that, you're better off playing Genji, you're better off playing Pharah, you're better off freaking playing Doomfist. Doomfist is also really good here.
Oh, let's not play this here. That's unfortunate.
We ran Junkrat when we.
They Valked. Information. They just Valked. So, they just Valked. What does that mean? That means that the Zen can't be picked up. They don't have res for 30 seconds. Time cooldowns, time spells. What are your triggers? If you guys all get up within 8 seconds, you Lucio speed boost back to the point. Let's say that's another 8 seconds. That's 16 seconds. If you all can trigger a dive within 4 seconds, that's 20 seconds. And you can kill the Zen in 10 seconds, the Mercy res will just be coming up, and you will have beaten the res timer by 2 seconds. The Zen will not be able to make it back. This is why tracking cooldowns, tracking abilities, tracking everything is so important.
We shouldn't have ran Junkrat and then. Fucking.
I can't touch now.
This is definitely a viable map for jungler though. Maybe we should have Orisa Hog next time.
Remember that time when we ran triple tank and shit on everyone? That was fun.
Let's strike today, right now, in this fucking game.
I know when we win, because I don't.
It's overtime. The hell are y'all talking about different shit for?
I nearly have ult.
I'm stuck.
You walked.
Alright. Quick thing about tracer bombs. I saw it once or twice in the big VOD I got sent when you were playing the quote-unquote worst team. I don't know if that's actually who it was. Right here. You're gonna get stuck, Winston. If you get stuck as a player, all right, I need arrows. I need to draw something. Ignore the VOD for now. I'm just going to draw this over here. So this is the person who got stuck. This is the team in a team fight around said person, right? This is everybody else around your team. So the yellow person got stuck. If you get stuck, take your left hand off your keyboard. Do not move your character anymore. Just say, I am stuck. Or Winston's stuck. Something like that. Along those lines. It depends on how your team's comms go. The reason you do this is because the team is going to automatically pull away from the pulse bomb. But if you move, you kill that person, you kill that person, shit, maybe you kill both of them. That's why if you get stuck, you stand still. Just say, I'm stuck. If you know the voices, you know how everybody sounds, I am stuck. And you just stand still. Take your left hand off your keyboard. Don't move your character anymore. Don't jump, don't do anything. You're gonna get somebody else killed, and it's gonna lead to a double kill like this one.
I'm stuck.
You walked into me.
That's what still.
Okay, I
No,
feel
you
like
Walked into me. You were like
we don't play
strafing.
Junkrat and we don't play Lucio, Zen, or whatever the fuck we're doing. We play Mercy, Zen, and we play Genji or Soldier. You don't play. Sorry, Mercy, Lucio. You don't play
All
Zen
these
'cause-
weird strats we're trying on.
Yeah, I don't
controls,
know why they
they're
keep
not
changing
working.
it up.
They're literally none of them are working. The best ones we've done have been Zen and Mercy, and then the whole
Isn't the
fucking
point? Isn't
triple
the
tank
point
thing.
to try them to know whether they work or not?
Yeah, but
Is
they've
that
all
what we all agreed for?
none of them have worked.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm skipping here because
Yeah, but there were things we
I've
could have
already
done better.
talked to you guys
Yeah,
about
so
your
maybe-
pre-game comms and your
Let's go.
stuff. Like, in between maps is an okay time to talk about what happened, but you still need to be focusing on the match that's coming so that in a tournament setting, you're in a tournament and you're moving on to the next map, you talk about, okay, so we just played Control Center. What do we need to talk about? Their Tracer was flanking a lot. Their Tracer was playing in the back line. She was never really with her team. Their Zen was playing on main a lot, being pocketed by Mercy. So if we get a trigger of the Tracer jumping in our backline and we can get her recall, or their Winston and Diva dive in onto us, the Zen and the Mercy should be free. Stuff like that is stuff you should be communicating. You should be communicating who was doing all the work for them, what ultimates did they have the most, what issues were we having. You don't have to fucking rework the fucking wheel here. You don't have to reinvent your comp in between the fucking 30-second window. But you need to be passing off that information and you need to understand how it's going to impact you on the next round.
Alright, fight courtyard.
Outside, let's go. They have a Genji. We win. They're Mercy. Jump the Mercy. Jump the Mercy. Jump the Mercy.
Right here.
Dead.
Let's get the tanks. Leave
I'm on
Lucio.
Lucio. Lucio half.
Situation, my man. You're
Lucio
just
half.
fucking
Lucio half. Lucio half.
Leave his high ground.
We can just leave the Lucio in that scenario, Earl. He's not gonna do
Nice,
much.
take point.
I've
Leave
got
his
knocked
ground.
Alright, you won the fight. You're going to play point. After you cap point, what are you doing next?
I got literally hit by 3 different movement abilities on my fucking character.
Why is nobody talking about the Genji throwing shurikens on main?
Characters.
It's King Kong all over
I
again.
mean, you can't do anything there, and I can't put down my healing station. You die through it.
Ow.
Just feels bad.
Why are we not outside? Where's our team? We
I'm
should
going
be
That shouldn't have to be said.
in.
shooting these enemies.
I'm being
Kill the
pushed
Winston.
forward.
Mercy. Oh, what the
Mate,
fuck?
kill Winston. Winston discorded.
I
Kill
need
Alright, whoever is your Zenyatta player, this is the simplest way I can say this. Every time you apply a Discord, if you get consistent, it will become background noise and everybody will know what to do. So you don't need a target caller when you have a Zenyatta on your team, because Discord overrides everything. As you are playing in the game as Zenyatta, Winston discorded, Mercy discorded, Diva Discord, Tracer Discord, Lucio Discord, Genji Discord, Winston Discord, Genji Discord. Whoever the hell you're calling, just keep it consistent. Every single time you apply Discord, every single time you lose Discord on a target and you have to apply it to a new one, you say it, and that becomes the new target focus. So, in this situation, let's roll it back.
Winston discorded.
Winston's discorded. All right, Winston is dead. Winston got gibbed. Winston, good job. Earl, good job. Zenyatta, good job.
Kill
I need
Diva now.
heals.
You just discorded him. Say it. You need to be constantly saying it.
No, kill Diva, kill Diva.
Your team can focus it. Your team can blow it up. Your team can do its job.
I get Discord off again.
They are clumping together. You guys have multiple shot angles. This is where Discord is hella important.
You're on the
Diva.
Go point, guys. See now.
Nice stick. Say light.
Go.
Get back on it. I'm a
Alright.
Falk.
Yeah, I'm on.
Right here, this is a trigger. You guys are going in. That's great. That's fine. You guys fracture. This has to be uniform. Winston, you get really happy, which is fine, but you need to understand your diva isn't in mech. Diva, you should have said I'm at a mech so that your Winston doesn't do this.
Say
Go.
light.
Get back on.
Winston, go. Winston can get punished. Winston can get blown up here. They can blow you the fuck up. 600 health goes by really fast when 6 people are shooting at you. So slow down when you don't have Diva Mech. You have to understand the game state. What is with my team? What is with their team? You go too fast a few times.
Yeah, I'm on. Nice now. Kill
Can we
the
just
Lucian
go to
too.
Discord's with you.
All right. Top tip: whoever's operating the camera. All right, we gotta go back so that you guys get better VODs. All right, as this diva gets demeched right here, you have to understand that the game is going to start pushing into the point. That's where the fight's going to take place. As this happens and you are in a transition, you need to be moving the camera this way, and then after you move the camera, whether you go outside while pan looking this way, and then to the window, and then pan look in, either works. You're getting the information your team needs, overhead, backed up as far as possible, or as soon as this happens, you need to haul ass. And you already do it, you need to be backed up further here, but you always play as close to the edge of the map as possible and zoomed out as far as possible so you get as much of the information as possible. But you always play one of the walls of the game. So you're recording from, this angle, or you're recording from this angle. And it's going to make it so that you guys get wider shots, you get more information, and you'll be able to time rotations. You'll be able to see how team fights devolve. In this next fight, you do a really good job
Go.
of
back on it, I'm a
where
step
you
out.
should be with
I'm
the
on, I'm on.
camera, but you need
Nice.
to be
Kill-
constantly
kill-
moving. Your VOD
Discord,
recorder
on
is an
the
AFK
Mercy,
job, but you need to
fuck, I can't
constantly
even see
be
anyone, dude.
fast in doing it, because your VODs you record become the tools the team work with later, and if you get lazy, maybe there's something here I needed to know about, and I don't have that information anymore. So right here, you back up into a corner, you're getting as much of the points as possible. That's great. What you can do is rotate to this side, and the other thing is, because as a spectator, you can see through walls, you don't actually have to physically be on the point. You can have these walls and structures be in your way and still get the gist of the information, but you want to have a widest shot as possible. Alright, so that's enough for the spectator,
Okay,
where
yeah,
we
yeah,
were.
Valkyrie.
Kill the. Yeah.
Discord's on the Genji.
Okay.
This isn't it.
You vouch for it. We're gonna.
I
move
prime.
on.
I'm gonna raise when I
You got me
can.
one shot. Fuck.
We need to kill Mercy.
Yeah, I have trance.
Yeah,
I have
I'm
trance.
out
I
of
have
race.
trance.
No, we don't need it. Not right now.
Nice.
Alright, so you guys are winning. You're gonna win the team fight. Who's on point? Who's preventing you from capping? Who's trying to cap on you? Because you need to get them off point. This right there. So critical information. Target call. Target call.
Committed
Target
an
call.
ultimate. We need to win this fight. Are we winning it or losing?
We're winning
Yes,
it.
Yeah, we
we're
won.
winning.
We won. We won. We won.
Team back,
Good, I'm outside.
Kill the Diva.
They're still committing ults. They're still committing ults.
Pressing on!
Oh my god.
All could have been avoided. All you got to do. Diva, in this situation, to prevent this from happening, you're the only person who has a forgiving stance. So if you have to eat the Diva bomb, you have to position yourself here so that you can demech out the door, and then you're in a position to spam via the LOS, and then everybody else can recast. And then Winston, you can actually eat it if you have a full rage going. so you potentially could eat Diva ult as well. It depends on how close you are, so you just have to time your jump / time your rage so that you both could contest. Mercy and Zen getting off point is huge. Moving on.
Kill Lucia,
Winston's
please.
chasing
Low,
me.
low.
Diva's low. I'm dead.
Okay, I've been left.
Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Why you
Again, you all had it. It was there. Their recontest and them committing ultimates is a loss because you assumed the fight was over, and when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, so you lose. You get punished.
I'm
come
dead.
on, get out.
Yeah, we should not be dying here randomly. Just die nectar.
They played that so awfully and they won it. I am appalled.
That wasn't really played awfully. That was more of they hard committed and they out hard committed you because you got lazy. You can't get lazy. When you get lazy, it gives them an opportunity to do dumb shit like that. Any one of the options that I gave you lets you recontest, killing the Lucio, calling for target focus on the Lucio, playing the back wall of point versus chasing after them. Anything there, any of those options, taking a defensive posture, all of those mean you don't get C9'd. You got over aggressive, you got cocky, they're gonna get fucked. We're just gonna fucking roll over them, and then you see fucking 9, and now they have the cap, and they have established actually ult economy and ult tempo. And technically, as a spectator, if I am looking right now, that commitment of ults from them, because they have Valk, you don't, they have ult economy advantage. They are actually winning right now, technically, in the ult economy because of that play.
Jake, did you have mech? There was only one person that could tank
hold
that
on.
Diva bomb.
Yeah, I should have taken the Diva bomb. That's.
It's taken it off
I
the
knew,
map.
I knew immediately.
See? You just need to do it. Consistency.
I knew immediately that I should take them.
Also, Joy, you could have tanked it, but you all could have taken a defensive posture on the backside of the point. Winston bubble if you hadn't raged. Winston ult should only be used to tank damage. Never use it offensively. Your shield is way more important than your ass having 1,000 health.
Fucking Diva bomb.
Let's go right side. Let's have some room because we suck at fast decisions.
Shoot the bubble as fast as you can.
Winston's
Behind,
close,
behind.
Winston's close, Winston's
There's,
close. Put on the win.
Genji behind,
Shoot
Genji
the bubble,
behind.
shoot the bubble.
They're stuffing you in a choke. They're literally just stuffing you in a choke. That economy advantage I was talking about is going to punish you here. So this is a situation where you have this choke, and they aren't going to go through it, but you guys can't get out of it. So you guys need to stop feeding the ult economy that's going to snowball out of
Now
control.
Diva Discord, Diva
They
Discord.
profit
Go on.
from holding you there. They win.
They're all low, they're all low.
Genji's one.
Getting them up, friends. Get them.
God, heal me.
Discord's on a winnie.
The one
They're
visor.
Valking, they're Valking. Back out, back out, back out.
Listen, you're playing so like fast, dude. Can't do that.
Why
You need
not,
to actually
man?
assess
Red
the
star.
situation.
You can't sit there. Whoever said you need to sit there and assess the situation, you don't sit in one spot to assess the fucking situation. You keep your ass moving and you stop feeding economically. So, if you want to assess the situation, you go this way and you keep fucking moving. You don't sit there and take damage in a choke. Tank who pushed out on their own. You don't go it alone. Your ass gets blown the fuck up. Alright, so there's a desync again between you all.
We can. You're just
There's
not
no support on
allowing
the
it.
side and they have no Valk. Let's go. Let's win the fights. Let's go.
They'll still have chance for their next blade.
Jake is still respawning.
Yeah, I'm back.
They just out of Valk.
Let's shoot this Winston right here on your left. Alright, get back now. Get back now.
Translate. Very
Yep.
nice. I'm gonna touch point. I'm gonna make
just-
a large
Yep,
distraction, gamers. Don't worry.
You have a bomb here? Alright,
real
I'm
bomb.
on.
Alright, so they do not have a choice because of the ults they committed to contest this tracer. They don't. They 100% all in on the beat blade dive, looking to get a reset, and then your trance fucks it. They have no other option. Tracer cap, good job. Everybody else should be looking to re-engage with the trance because this is your only window to potentially win a 5v6 because of their commitment. Tracer, you need to look to rejoin your team.
Z9.
Winston.
Goodbye, friends.
Nice, we capped.
Healing station here. Healing station here. They're
Kill
gonna
Diva
Straight to
now.
point,
Kill
straight to
Diva.
point,
Kill
straight
Diva.
to point.
Kill Diva.
Diva
Kill Diva.
No,
That's
don't
enough.
take the point. Take the fight outside. We have a soldier.
Don't let them
Discord.
cap. Don't let them cap.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever is the person that you all designate. Point bitch is what we call it. Generally, it's Lucio if you don't have a Lucio. You have to decide who your point bitch is, and they need to understand that it's their job to go to point in situations like this. Because you all are up right now. You can afford to take a 5v5. Who is the one body you can spare right now for a 5v5? Do you send Tracer back? Do you send Mercy back? Do you send Zen back? Do you send Winston back? Do you send Jake back? Diva. You just said you want to fight out in the open with your 76, so obviously he's not going. But somebody needs to be the point bitch. You can take a 5v5 here, and the other person can just go babysit point.
Yeah, we could.
Be
Genji
just a
coming
fucking
from
giant
point.
ward. Oh, they're coming to point, guys! Alright, anyway, moving on.
I still have Valkyrie.
To try to get a
Yay,
situation
maybe
where
plus
heals
six.
never go on you. I need them more than you.
Oh,
I can't, man.
That's why
Like
I'm
you
at
ran
the-
out
me
just
American.
ahead of your tanks and died.
I know. Without a
Because
healing.
Lever can't stay with you when.
Even if
died.
I'd been
going to
healing you,
point,
you
Genji's
would have
going to
died.
point,
Yeah,
Genji's
why
going
is it
to
not on me regardless?
go, they low.
Lucio, Discord, Lucio, Discord.
Alright, there you see where comms got backed up in a fucking conversation that was happening that shouldn't have been happening. Fucking backed everything up, and you all missed an opportunity to engage and stuff them at the choke and engage. And because of that, there's a laggy window, etc. Alright, anyway. So to summarize the biggest things that you can quote unquote hyperbolic time chamber as a team, because I'm going to go ahead and end it here because I've been talking for almost an hour. The biggest things that you guys need to do is comms, location. Every single Koth map is split evenly. Their side, our side, however you want to do it. So, their blank, our blank, however you want to do it. Somebody needs to be ult tracking. Doesn't matter who the fuck it is. Somebody just start trying. Everybody try and do it. Is ideally the best way it works, but somebody needs to actually make that their job. Second thing, everybody needs to understand what their job is, why are they doing it, and how are they going to do it. Third thing, communication. There is no such thing as a stupid comm. The Ana use sleep dart is colossal information. Fucking, you guys want to know a trick? Rouge Hong, arguably best Ana world, throws his nade offensively and trolls. They are engage windows that you can use. I've studied enough film of fucking South Korea and fucking top tier players that this is something I've picked up on. Fucking Envy, old school Envy. Coco and Mickey are reactive tanks. They rely on the fact that Chips Hodgin and Harry Hook are blank. So good at their job that they can be reactive. They don't have to be the aggressive tanks, which means they're passive. They will give you more space. They also will give you a trigger for an engage. That means you can punish Taimu, and that also means you can punish effect. Just shit like that is what you start noticing when you do that. Information. It goes to a whole new level if you start doing it and you play people consistently. You will start noticing trends and habits, and you'll be able to pick other players apart. Alright, target calling. Somebody needs to be target calling. Doesn't matter who. Like I said, you can fucking do the fucking seagulls from fucking Finding Nemo. You can elect somebody and they have to do it constantly and everybody listens to that and they fucking learn the focus order for every composition and listen to the ult tracking and they know what target they should be focusing. Third thing, somebody needs to be shot calling. Doesn't fucking matter who it is. If you have an ultimate, grab the play by the balls. If you're Tracer and you're like, I want to go for a pulse bomb on their Zenyatta, engage as soon as I hit the pulse bomb or I miss. Simple. Play. Execute it. Go. You don't have to be too fucking specific. You don't have to come up with fucking millimeter fucking strategies. If you have a strat that is in the spur of the moment, like Diva, we'll talk about Skull. Skull has Diva Bomb here. If Skull's like, hey guys, I want Diva Bomb, break Winston bubble for me so that I can throw Diva Bomb over the top. That's my strategy. That's my plan. You guys run with it. I've given you enough freedom that you can do it any way you want to, but accomplish what I told you to. Break the bubble, herd them into mid. Other than that, strategically, you all get it, but you need to start putting more thought into why you're doing something. Can you play it a different way? Stop looking at it as that's the only way that hero can be played. I'm not going to get too specific into compositional stuff because that's flavor literally for each team and each coach. So it's 100% dependent upon who you get. Other than that, that's pretty much the biggest things I've noticed. And you guys played a shit ton of Koth in the VODs I got, and then you played Route 66. On Route 66, you need to have set rollouts, and you need to have set defensive patterns for first point. The train wreck, which I am famous for coaching, is a Route 66 strategy where you sit in the fucking train car, and then you brawl on cart. If you win, you reset to the corner, and you're ahead economically by a mother load. If not, you brawl on cart, and you effectively are stalling first as soon as the cart can spawn, so you can effectively get 2 more fights in the phase, 1 in front of the gas station, 1 at the door, so that gives you 3 fights and 3 engages within the first phase. Shit like that. You guys have to go into a server, you have to fucking sit there, and you have to talk about it. I mean, shit, if you can't get into the server and you can't play, fucking talk about it. But that's pretty much the gist of what I got. And then spectator person, I think it's click. You gotta start preemptively seeing the fights happening, and as they evolve, recording. So your team has better VODs. Because right now, I need the information right here as a coach, and I can't see it. I need to know who's there. Because somebody's there. I don't know who it is, though. Alright, but anyway, that's it. I'm gonna upload this, and then I'll send it to Click, and he will disperse it. I think Click is a he. I think Lev is the female. I'm not sure. If I got it wrong, I'm sorry.